I wanted to intervene. I was never allowed to speak. And, I was insulted. I was never allowed to utter a word. And I was, see, they wanted to intentionally ask me to call the security below, and I myself am leaving. This is to intentional insult, because the reason is it is being done is because the media look for the breaking news. Petition was SLP was filed. It was dismissed by Justice Madan B. Law Court. Could talk about transparency now. Otherwise, I have many things to say about Chandrachud, but I don't say. I won't say. So I would say, and it is such an agony to find a man who has committed the greatest of human rights violation has been appointed as the National Human Rights Commission. I tell you, I'm not a critic of BJP government. No, never. Because I'm not. But these kind of appointments, I can never accept it. Section 16 of the Advocates Act is unconstitutional. Legal profession means the bar and the bench by this of the elite class of lawyers and judges, scheduled tribe, OBC, upper class, etc. And the bar is primarily the exclusive domain of the upper class. Advocacy record has made the bar subordinate Supreme Court, but the advocacy records they are slaves. I was using a strong expression, but that is the truth. So Article 32, I am not blaming judges. Article 32 is simply not workable. There is no need at all. Say the manner in which the NJAC case was handled and it allowed to be rejected is very painful. I never expected just Chandradev to go to this extreme extent.
A very good evening to everyone. We are live, and a very warm welcome to Sir. We have with us this evening Senior Advocate Supreme Court, Mr. Matthews Nedumpara. A very warm welcome to Sir, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank
I
you.
would say that a lot of people, including our audience, is very curious about your opinions on a lot of topics. And we love watching you in Supreme Court taking a stand and speaking up for the underdog, for the newcomers. And let's begin it, sir. And I would like to begin this discussion with the latest petition that you have filed before the Supreme Court, which is on the senior designation. Can you please talk to us a little bit about what is it that you're seeking from the court, and why did you file it in the first place?
See, we are seeking a declaration that Section 16 of the Advocates Act is unconstitutional. Section 16, it will be quite strange. It says there shall be two classes of lawyers. The very wording, there shall be two classes of lawyers, and senior advocate and others. And then Section 23(5), which says that senior advocates will have a pre-ordained before other advocates. Now, say there shall be two classes of lawyers. Then it's the very basic ethos of the Constitution, equality. The concept of equality comes from Aristotle, equitas. So equality is the very foundation of our Constitution. So all lawyers are to be treated equally, and all litigants are to be given equal treatment. And when you classify lawyers into two classes, senior advocate and the underprivileged other advocates, and Supreme Court rule says senior advocates and juniors. So say I'm in the bar for more than 40 years, and now as per the Supreme Court rules, I'm a junior advocate. So therefore, this pattern discrimination, Article 14 forbids discrimination, but it permits classification for certain purposes, and it is to give us primarily to treat unequals as equally would amount to violation of the concept of equality. So to put a disadvantaged person and to a person who is advantaged, and the same position is an inequality. But here, look here, ours is certainly a feudal society, and the legal profession prior to the Constitution coming into force and thereafter, it was primarily a monopoly of the elite class of people. See, even our great freedom fighters, even Mahatma Gandhi, all went abroad. They were not from the poorest sections of the society. They are relatively, rich. So those who had they had the financial resources to go abroad, they take a bar law degree, or they get graduated. So they were on the relatively elite class section of the society. And then, therefore, our legal profession, see, it was dominated, in the sense legal profession means the bar and the bench, by the rich or the elite class of lawyers and judges. Advocate on record system is also one of, I'm not saying, some of my friends were saying that it is domestication of the bar. It's a domestic, because see, I say from my own experience, when I wanted to represent Justice Karnan, and I needed an advocate on record, because any pleadings, any petition can only be filed by through an advocate on record. I approached ever so many one, then personally and otherwise, all refuse, because they said, no, then the judges will be displeased. So therefore, advocates on record has made the bar subordinate Supreme Court, but the advocates on record, they are slaves. I was using a strong expression, but that is the truth. So the designation system has only helped for two counts. One is a culture of sycophancy, and the other is slavery. I tell you the reason why. Let me be very bold about it. See, every lawyer who crosses the age of 35, 40, see, they realize that they have to either become a judge or a senior advocate. And if not, if you don't become a judge, or if you don't become a senior advocate, then your professional career is finished. So then, to become a senior advocate, you need the support of the judges. You raise a little voice against them. You are illiterate in the court. You raise your voice. Then, you see, judges speak about the lawyers. They speak. And I have on record, Justice K.M. Joseph openly said, yes, we speak about lawyers. They discuss about lawyers. So therefore, judges hesitate. If I had a friction with a judge today in one court, then tomorrow I'll face I'm telling from my experience, I find all the judges antagonistic to me, and petitions under Article 226 are dismissed in 1 minute. So therefore, not only that your case is lost, and this message goes, oh yes, judges, the judges are against the bar. Okay, fine. Or ex-lawyer. That message goes. Our own brother lawyers will circulate it. And you, prospect of getting further brief is certainly adversely affected. And then once you cross with a judge, then the prospect of you being, designated as senior advocate by the full court is also it is also foreclosed forever. And secondly, if you are not in the final step equation, there's no chance of you becoming a judge also. So therefore, you surrender yourself. And then, I have seen lawyers, when they engage the case, and when the senior decision case, outside the court, they come, they boil. And then I request them, my dear friend, you please be in the court. They disappear. That is why I say the fundamental principle of law is a law, in the system of jurisprudence where the least discretion is given to a judge is the best system. And the judge who exercises least of his discretion is the best judge. Maybe 1,200 petitions are filed in the Supreme Court, not more than that, or 1,500 maximum. And all these petitions, I don't find any petitions of the so-called poor man, ordinary class. These are all petitions filed by those who can afford an expensive lawyer. And only those petitions, I take the instance of Ratan Tata, radio tapes. Such petitions alone are under Article 32, or petitions where there is, I don't want to be seen to be unduly critical, where there is a lot of publicity and etc. etc. Otherwise, all petitions you file, the judges will frown upon you and tell them you go to the High Court. Why do you come here? So Article 32, I am not blaming judges. Article 32 is simply not workable. There is no need at all. And Article 32 is probably the reason for all the calamities which we come across today. That is, using Article 32, the court has become a court of legislature, supreme legislature.
Been instances when the judges have asked you to leave the court. So, sir, what is your opinion on that when that is seen in connection, you raising points regarding collegium and of, taking, removing discrimination against first generation lawyers?
Yes, I tell you in the need case, I was representing 16 petitioners. I was from the day one of the hearing, I was there. Then I only, when I found that all this discussion is going astray, I wanted to intervene. I was never allowed to speak. And I was insulted. And I was never allowed to utter a word. And I was, I was saying, they wanted to intentionally ask me to call the security below, and I myself am leaving. This is to intentional insult, because the reason is that it is being done is because the media look for the breaking news. It is not the content that matters, the headlines. So Nirmala is asked to remove the security below. This becomes a caption. And then in the anybody who search my name, social media, all these kinds of things come. So that was done to character assassinate. And I tell you, it has happened not the first time. In Bombay High Court, Justice Mohit Shah and the current Advocate General, Dr. Virendra Saraf, I have instituted a criminal case against him and it's pending now. I'm completely prepared to, in fact, I've forgiven him. That's a different issue. They implicated me, saying that I impersonated Justice Vasita. Case 52 pages petition was judgment was rendered, and Justice Patel said it would convert the court into a circus. That petition was SLP was filed. It was dismissed by Justice Madan B. Lockwood, who talk about transparency now. And thereafter, I filed a fresh petition. It was dismissed by Chief Justice Chandrachud. So then there was no transparency. Because maybe Matthew Numara filed it. Therefore, I don't want to say criticize Justice Chandrachud because he has retired. I took a oath to myself that now I will not say anything. Whenever I wanted, when he is in power, I will speak. When somebody is out of power, to speak against one is not good. It is not good in good taste. If you have the courage, you have a man of courage. You must say that when somebody is in power. Once you go out, somebody is out of power. What is the point in criticizing somebody? I don't believe in that.
Yes.
So therefore, otherwise, I have many things to say about Chandrachud, but I don't say. I won't say.
So were you able to meet former CJI Chandrachud after that incident that had happened in his court?
No. See, I tell you, there is one thing. There's one fundamental principle which I learned from my childhood. That is forgiveness. That is a very ethos of the Christianity. Hate the sin, not the sinner. So therefore, it is human. And see, that is what. See, if I were in the place of the honorable judges, I would have made even greater mistakes. So I always consider I am prone to more mistakes than anybody else. So therefore, whatever has happened is destined to happen, and I believe it's to happen for good. Had I not suffered, I wouldn't have been in the running a campaign for reforms.
You have always time and again raised the concern about nepotism in judiciary, and also the issue of elitism. So, sir, what is your opinion on that? How did it came to be?
The whole issue is, say, the judges. I'm not. Judges are very hardworking. Their job is extremely difficult. There's a enormous workload. All I agree. But one thing is, when you have the judges exclusively from the elite families, elite class of lawyers and judges, then they miss the real time. See, so I would say, and it is such an agony to find a man who has committed the greatest of human rights violation has been appointed as the National Human Rights Commission. I tell you, I'm not a critic of BJP government. No, never. Because I'm not. But these kind of appointments, I can never accept it. So because I believe Congress destroyed the old system by bringing the family culture dynasty. So that therefore basically we are all congressmen by tradition, but at the moment we cannot accept this dynasty. So you can say I'm politically neutral.
Okay, sir.
No
Sir,
way
yes, sir.
yeah.
My question to you is, that do you believe, do you have this opinion that Supreme Court or Supreme Court judges sometimes ignore important matters and delay them? And if you believe so, then why is the reason?
No, so I may be forgiven for putting it so bluntly. See, judges are humans. So naturally, they are carried away by name, fame, and media. So all this, see, what is the court's job? Court job is not legislation. Court job is to decide the actual disputes between A and B. All issue is, see, uh, I didn't wanted to say anything critical of Justice Chandrachud, but I'm sorry to say the the manner in which the NJAC case was handled and it allowed to be rejected is very painful. I never expected just Chandradev to to go to this extreme extent. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But even see, Justice Chandradev was in Bombay, so we have our own perception about him. But even going by that, also it was it was wholly unexpected. It was something beyond even our comprehension.